Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are a regular here. This is the continuation of the Idaho 4 series of readings, and today I'm looking at the energies and intentions of someone called Nick or Nicholas Mowitch. Now, there's been speculation recently. I think it's come directly from Jay Embry Pavarotti's channel, where he's been very thorough with his research into the people and the documents and everything surrounding the case. So it is very interesting, considering that in the documents it's been stated that there was male DNA, which seems to have been, we don't know exactly of what ethnicity, but we know it's not white, we know it's not African American or 100% African American. It's ruled out certain ethnicities, which leaves things like American Indian, and this guy had an American Indian blood. The story is that he lived close by, and that he died a couple of days later, allegedly from wounds inflicted during a automobile accident, but those wounds were not consistent with automobile accident wounds. They were more like stab wounds. So he's definitely worth exploring. I don't know his background or his affiliations, but we're going to find out, hopefully. The other thing, guys, I just want to say is that I'm going to be thanking any new members that have joined once a week, which I'll probably do on a Monday. So please know I'm not ignoring you. If you have joined recently, thank you for all you new members. Thank you so much for your support, and I will be mentioning those names on a Monday once a week. So let's get into the reading. This is a psychic reading. I use oracle cards and tarot cards, and occasionally I get messages from spirit to help me decipher what I'm seeing in the cards. It is open to interpretation. It is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing am I stating in these videos to be factual. So please know I'm not making any accusations. It is just an interpretation of energies I'm receiving, and they can be interpreted in many, many ways. So let's get going with the Clarifying Life Situations deck. While I'm shuffling, if anyone is interested in booking a private reading, you can do so via the link in the description also, just to make people aware if you want to book a reading. And the link to join as a member is also in the description below. So let's get going. And thank you everyone that's been using the new hype button feature. I didn't know anything about it until someone mentioned it in the comments. But essentially, you can hype this video, and it helps smaller channels get recognised and grow, basically. So I appreciate that as well. If you don't know where the hype button is as well, it's only available on mobile devices. You won't see it if you're accessing YouTube from desktop. But on a mobile device, if you look underneath the title of the video, you'll have all the buttons, things like the subscribe button, the like button, and then you have to scroll along and you'll see it says hype. So yeah. And if you don't understand it, the best thing to do is just Google it and find out, rather than me trying to explain it to you. So let's see what's going on with this guy, Nick Mowitch. First two cards, Clarifying Life Situations, which is more about him and who he is. The first card is Choose Wisely. Decisions shape your path amid challenges. Stay open to learning as answers reveal your destined journey. Choose wisely. And then we have fast progress. Move forward with swift precision and do what must be done now. Ooh. So he's chosen to do something and he had to act. It feels like something he had to do or act in the moment. It was, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I'm trying to reserve judgment. I'm trying to stay open-minded. That potentially this guy is innocent of any involvement. He might be. But let's see. I'm going to continue with the revealing the truth oracle. And it spat out 2 cards for me straight away. So let's see. Look for, investigation, explore and search. Now, I don't know if this is relating to him or if it's a message directed to me, but it may be something he had to do, something he was looking for. Was he exploring the house? Possibly, potentially. I don't know. Then we have empty room, no people, the end and opportunity. That's interesting that an empty room has come up because we know that there is a spare room at 1122 King Road, and there is a bit of speculation around that room because it's meant to have been, I mean, I don't know what exactly it was used for, but there's speculation. Now, I wonder if that room, because again, I have not done any extensive research on the released body cam footage or the documents. I want to, but I just don't have time. But I wonder if there was there body cam footage of that empty spare room, or has it been conveniently, you know, kind of not included? I don't know, but there's something here about that room. Were things kept in that room? You know, is there something there which would have been something that someone like Nick would have been looking for? Is there evidence that things have been turned over, or, you know, evidence that someone had been looking through that room, maybe in a hurry? Who knows? The next deck is the Path of Shadows deck. Okay. I keep looking at my screen because I don't know, these wings hold many, many secrets, and I keep looking to see if there's anything going on, because I don't usually pay any attention while I'm doing a reading. It's just interesting to see if there's any activity while I'm doing the reading. Yeah, let's see. So we've got one card and we've got another card. So the first card is avoidance. In the dance of shadows, I conceal and evade. Fear's veil keeps me distant in the dark's cool shade. It almost makes me feel like he was lurking in the shadows, hiding out. Was he around before the alleged time of the unalivings? It does make me feel like he could have been someone who was around but unseen, especially if he lived close by. And we've also got vampire In the night's embrace where desires ignite, my hunger keeps consuming all in sight. I mean, this isn't a direct indication that he's a vampire. That would be taking it a stretch too far, I think. But again, we've got references to the night, having a desire to do something, the hunger to, yeah, I don't know why, what's the motive, if that's the case, what is the motive? Did he know any of the four? Did he know any of the two that survived? Who knows? We need to find out. The next deck is the True Crime Oracle deck. Vampire also makes me feel like someone who had blood, who was a bit bloodthirsty, or possibly. So we've got intuition and run away. So there is a strong possibility, if he's involved and he was injured, that he fled. What's the intuition card? I mean, you look at the picture. This is someone, again, lurking in the shadows. Intuition. Whose intuition are we looking at? Are we looking at his intuition or someone else's intuition in the house that led? Did someone find him hiding, or it's interesting. So next deck, which is an interesting one, and I don't know why I've not used it before. These are actually the School of Babel coaching cards. They're for people who are learning the language. And again, they're very generic. They're not made for spiritual practices or, anything to do with true crime at all. They are just generic picture cards that I thought would be really interesting to use, because a picture should come up that has some sort of relevance. So they're also very difficult to shuffle. Let's do it the other way. Yikes. Gosh. Should have shuffled them horizontally, that would have been easier. So let's see what we've got. Okay. It's interesting. We've got a picture of two males. I mean, it could be father and son, possibly, but it could just be two close friends. They look like they've been on an adventure of some kind. It's also giving me a sense of achievement and pride. I do think this is a nod to father and son. And there's a mention as well in my comments about his father, about Nick Mowitch's father. But I don't know what the relevance is. Nicholas Mowitch, or Nick Mowitch's son. Oh, it's his son. Sorry, Nick Mowitch's son is Jackson Sheffield. He was adopted and given his adopted dad's last name. Nick's son attended University of Idaho. He lived close on 500 Queen Road, Unit 43, and he had a grey sedan. After that night, he went in for questioning. He explained his bio father had the extra key to his car. So this is something to do with Nick and Nick's son. Wow, okay, so this next card. This is something. I'm trying to figure out specifically what insect that is. I'm going to have to, I don't know what this is about, guys, but I know that there's something significant in this about Nick Mowitch, which is some sort of clue, clearly. This is going to be one of those that I'm going to get stuff coming to me over time, I think. It's not becoming it's not obvious right now what this is about. But let's carry on. The last deck I chose was the other vocabulary deck. I've got one that is got pictures on it and one that doesn't, and this is the one that doesn't. So it is just words. Wish I knew what kind of insect that is, because I feel like I need to know exactly what insect it is. It could be a clue to a name reference or a place. or I keep thinking stick insect, but it's not that because it's too, it might be. If anyone knows, please leave a comment. Okay, oh, we've got three have jumped out. Okay, so we've got resolution and salient. So the resolution of the international crisis by arbitration was a win for peace. It means completion. Salient is obvious. The detectives found few salient clues at the crime scene. Wow, I mean, did they? Did they find few obvious clues at the crime scene, or did they find a lot of obvious clues at the crime scene that they just chose to overlook? So this is something to do with the completion, to do the obvious completion of something. I mean, if this guy was involved, did he, even though he was fatally injured himself, did he manage to carry out and complete his own mission? And then we've got incisive and ruminate. Incisive means clear and penetrating, harsh. Ruminate, to consider carefully. Interesting. The meaning here, feverish. Ludendorff's incisive, feverish mind was steadied by Hindenburg's pragmatism and calmness. Together, they formed a highly effective leadership team, which means to me he's with someone. He wasn't working alone. Ruminate, to consider carefully. The quiet of nature allows us a chance to ruminate, finding insights into and solutions for the vexations of everyday life. So the clear and penetrating, to me, is something to do with the action of the unaliving. But he was with someone else. He did not work alone. And that first sentence, the quiet nature, it's like when everything was quiet, but then that's not what I've seen in the past at all. In the past, I've seen it being very active, a very active scene when the unaliving happened. Which is interesting. And then this card is impresario and obliging. So impresario, organizer of entertainment. Obliging, helpful and kind. Someone that came across as helpful and kind. Organizer of entertainment. Comes under the theme of skilled. I mean, it's interesting. Was he with someone that was very entertaining, had a larger than life character, or was it him? Was he like that? Did like I say, did any of these 6 people, when we include Dylan and Bethany, did any of them know this person, or did any of their associates know this person? Was he known for being a likeable, jokey, entertaining person? Possibly. So let's carry on with the tarot. And again, I'm going to use the... Actually, no, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use... I feel like I need a different tarot deck. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. Please don't ask me what one it is because I cannot remember the name of it. So choose wisely. Clarified by Strength reversed and the Queen of Swords. So it's almost like choosing, I don't know if this is about choose wisely, choose which victim, which person to target. The Queen of Swords indicates that it could have been one of the girls, as in either Maddie or Kaylee, because they're both Gemini and that's Queen of Swords energy. But someone definitely fought back and with a knife somehow. Interesting that it could, I would have assumed it would have been Ethan. If anyone was going to fight back with a knife, it would have been Ethan. But according to this, it was one of the girls. Which is really, it doesn't feel right. Unless it's a bit confusing. Unless it wasn't even one of the victims that fought back. Unless it was someone else. Fast progress. Clarified by the Fool reversed. Fast progress, but he made a mistake of some kind. And the Eight of Swords. It's like everything happened very quickly, but he made a fatal mistake somehow. He took a risk. He went too far with something. The Eight of Swords. It's almost like people had him trapped. That's what it feels like. Someone managed to trap him in a room or in a place where he couldn't get out, so they could call for help or call law enforcement, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Either, sorry, it could be that he had someone, just looking at this image, guys, it could be that he had someone bound and trapped. It wasn't him, it was him. He had someone, you know, like tied up and trapped. I think that's more likely. You look at this picture as well, it's like it's a female and they look like they have a weapon behind their back. Which again is so interesting because it's again leading towards one of the girls having had access to a weapon. So then we have look for, investigation, explore, search, the Hierophant, wow. And the World. So the Hierophant always leads me to law enforcement in these readings, either law enforcement or, you know, anyone who is working for any kind of institution, whether it's the police, whether it's the university, whether it's the courts, whatever this is. But in this case, I do think it's law enforcement. And the World. Was he working with someone on the side of law enforcement. Again, it's like, what on earth? And it would make sense, because why would they lie? Why would they lie about the nature of his injuries? Make it look like he you know, they were inflicted from an accident when it was actually very clearly stab wounds. Strange. Empty room, no people. The end. Someone died in that room, in that spare room. And I've said that, you know, I think one person, probably only one person, was actually unalived at 1122 King Road, and it feels like it happened in that particular room, and it had some kind of link to this person, Nick Mowitch. Did they have that one particular person tied? Was that the person that was tied up and held captive in that room? The Four of Cups reversed. And the King of Swords. King of Swords, again, I feel is something to do with law enforcement. Someone, oh God, I am going to get onto the law enforcement readings, guys, but I'm going to have to leave it till, because they are top of my list. So you understand they've got to be further down the line of the order of readings that I do. But this is something to do with law enforcement. Four of Cups reversed is... someone that's very, very I can't think of the word. Someone who doesn't want to consider anyone else's ideas or opinions. They're very, very... They have a plan, and it's their way or the highway kind of thing, is what I'm getting from that. So we've got avoidance in the Dance of Shadows, clarified by the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Wands. He's very... I want to say he's smug, but I don't feel like he is. It feels like someone who is very self-assured, very confident in themselves, that, you know, if they were given a job to do, they do it. No worries, no problem. This is not, you know, this is, I don't know. And the Ace of Wands, he had a burning desire to do this for some reason. It feels personal. It feels that he had a personal vendetta against someone in that house, or more than one person, but it feels more directed at one particular person, and I don't know why. Vampire, clarified by the Three of Cups. Again, I'm getting Dylan vibes from this. Three of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, I wonder who this guy's son was, and did he have any links to someone like Dylan? I'd love to see pictures or something like that if anyone knows. There may have been some sort of intimate liaison between him and her. I don't know. Three of Cups. Three females I'm getting here, but I feel like it's three females that were targeted. which would be, you know, Xana, Kaylee, Maddie. And then you've got the vampire card, which is the outlier, the female, the feminine energy that was dark. And I don't know why I feel like it's Dylan. It might not be. The Wheel of Fortune is change of energy. There's a change of energy here. There's something that's changing from like what was a happy, celebratory, you know, party atmosphere to darkness. And then we have intuition and runaway. There was his intuition. His intuition told him to run, and maybe he didn't run in time. Maybe that's why he was injured. I don't know who injured him. But clarified by the Hanged Man reversed. Again, I'm getting that feeling of being captured. That he was so weird. Queen of Cups reversed. And again, it's female energy. Of course, it could be the female energy that was trying to run away from him. Was he the one that was pursuing? And the only person I've seen in the past in my own visions that was trying to run away was Maddie. So was he the one in pursuit of Maddie? Did Maddie have a weapon? Did Maddie try to, when he eventually captured her, was it Maddie who, you know, it's quite possible that she's tried to escape, but she's made sure she's taken something somehow with her to make sure that she would have been able to try and protect herself if they caught her. I wonder who's, because again there's that jacket that was left by the fire hydrant, and I've seen quite clearly that happened because someone tried to grab her and they only grabbed the jacket, the back of the neck, and she's wriggled free from it, so they've left it, dropped it on the floor, and she's carried on running. But I also feel like that wasn't her jacket, it was someone else's, and I don't know whose jacket she would have borrowed throughout the night. Did that person already have a weapon in the jacket? Who knows? There's something here about a female that injured him. It wasn't a male, it was a female. And then we have this card with the two males. Clarified by the Three of Swords reversed. I mean, that's the card of pain and grief and bereavement, which if this is about father and son, that would make sense. And the Judgment card in reverse, which is avoiding or having got away with not having to answer certain questions, you know, because he's passed. So no longer part of the investigation, I suppose, or if he ever was part of the investigation. And then we have this interesting card with the face and the insect. Clarified by the Ten of Swords. And the Two of Swords reversed. I still don't understand what this card is meant to be telling me. Ten of Swords is the end. I do feel like if he was stabbed, it happened more than once. Two of Swords. It's interesting. It's also confusing because if he was working with someone, surely someone would have... But I do feel like there's a breakthrough moment where, like I said, he's separated himself from whatever's going on in the house to chase someone like Maddie. So, and that's what the Two of Swords is about, is a one-on-one battle between two people. And then the last three cards are the vocab cards, which were resolution, incisive, impresario, salient, ruminate, and obliging. Just see if I can get a sentence out of this, because sometimes I can. So the theme on resolution and salient is drama. Completion, clear and penetrating, harsh, organizer of entertainment. You know, this could even indicate that he was the organizer of this thing, he was the head of the organized situation, if that makes sense. It's like he... It also makes me feel like, as a person, he came across as someone who was quite helpful and kind, you know. Let's see. Clarified by the Tower. Wow. The Knight of Swords. And the Devil reversed. So the Tower is, you know, the chaos and the collapse and the destruction, which comes in with salient and completion. Knight of Swords, someone who's active and aggressive. This is the other side of him. Clear and penetrating. He was, that's a nod to the action. And harsh. Feels very, very violent. It does, it feels very violent. An organizer of entertainment, helpful and kind. It comes in with the Devil reversed. Yeah, so it's like this is something to do with this image, you know. It's like happy, smiling, joyful face, but there's a very obvious something wrong here. You know, there's something crawling up his face, and yet he's oblivious to it. It's not bothering him. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like the two sides. But there's more to that picture. If I can just find out what that insect is called, I can do some deeper research on it. So that's it for today, guys. That is it for the first reading on Nicholas Mowitch. I might need to do more, who knows? But yeah, please keep leaving comments. Yeah, as I said, I always read your comments, even if I don't get to respond to all of them. I do read them, so please know I'm not ignoring you at all. But thank you. Thank you as always. Thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement and your engagement that I return to you tenfold. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the journey.